A woman sat alone on the station bench every night. She kept scratching the wooden board with her fingers, waiting for her boyfriend to come home from work. But little did she know, her boyfriend had completely forgotten about her existence. He even mistook her for a stranger who needed help and offered to take her home. With no other choice, the woman asked to go to his place to take shelter from the rain. Even though she was already dead, she was still trying her best to save her boyfriend. Because the woman had been deaf and mute while alive, their relationship was strongly opposed by her boyfriend's mother. That day, her boyfriend had prepared flowers and a diamond ring to propose to her. Unfortunately, as soon as he got off the subway, he left the flowers on the train. Even worse, he got on a bus that had mechanical problems. In the heavy rain, the bus was driving on the Hangang Bridge. Suddenly, the tire burst and the bus lost control, crashing into a truck beside it. In an instant, the bus was thrown into the air and plunged straight over the railing into the water. The woman, who had come to meet her boyfriend, witnessed the scene and immediately called the police. But because she couldn't speak, it delayed the rescue effort. Soon, rescue teams arrived at the scene, and everyone was pulled out of the water. When she arrived at the hospital, the woman didn't dare go to the waiting area because her boyfriend's parents were already there. She kept calling her boyfriend's phone, hoping for a reply, but the police had just handed the phone to his parents. When his mother saw the incoming call, she hung up immediately. Then she replied with a message, "Your son is dead." After reading the message, the woman was overcome with grief. She went home and took her own life. It wasn't until later that her boyfriend's father sent a message saying her son was still alive. But by then, the woman had already made her choice. After her death, the woman came to this dreamlike world. She still remembered all the happy moments she had shared with her boyfriend. That's why she sat at the station every day, waiting for him to come home from work. In life, she couldn't hear or speak, but here, she could finally talk.
김한민 나도 보고 싶어.
But her boyfriend no longer remembered who she was. Every time they talked, he would faint without warning. Because he was severely injured, his body had been broken in two. So the woman carried a suitcase with her, using needle and thread to stitch him back together, hoping to bring him back to life. This was the world between life and death. All seriously injured people on the brink of death wandered here, only by finding their own light bulb at the lighting shop. Could they have a chance to come back to life? That day, a female student who lived next door to her boyfriend had just said hello to him, when he suddenly collapsed without any warning.
그냥 둬. 내 남자야. 비켜, 시간 없어.
Meanwhile, in the real world, the woman's boyfriend was lying in a hospital bed, barely holding on to life. A few days earlier, a nurse had seen the woman's spirit, but she pretended not to notice and said the patient had a strong will to live and could still wake up. It was those words that made the woman stitch her boyfriend's broken body again and again, helping him miraculously survive one crisis after another.